Hari Om. Welcome back to our continuing study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha from the pages of Poojya Swamiji's, Poojya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's Geetha Home Study course. In these sessions, we are studying Dharma Shastra as presented in chapter 17 of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha titled Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. In the last two capsules, we looked at how to understand what is a sattvika ritual as contrasted with a rajasika ritual. That was in shlokas 11 and 12. In the 13th shloka that we are about to enter, we will study and understand what a tamasika ritual is and the attitude that the performer entertains. Shloka 13, tamasika ritual. Vidhihenamasrishtannam mantrahenamadakshинам Shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. Vidhihinam, vidhihinam. That which is bereft of the stipulations of Shastra. At least the Satvika and Rajasa ritualist performed his or her rituals based on the Shastric injunctions. Here, the Tamasika ritualist does not follow what the Shastras have laid down to be followed. So, vidhihinam, that which is bereft of the stipulations of Shastra. Asrishta annam, that which is without distribution of food. Annadanam. Mantrahinam, that which is without proper recitation of mantras. Adakshinam, that which is without distribution of wealth. And most of all, Shraddha Virahitam. Shraddha Virahitam. That which is without Shraddha. Without implicit obedience and faith in the words of the Shastra. Not taking the Shastra as a pramanam, as a valid source of knowledge. Shraddha Virahitam. Yagyam, the ritual. Tamasam is tamasika. Parichakshate. Parichakshate, they say. The knowers of the Shastrams say so. They say that a ritual which is bereft of the stipulations of Shastra, without distribution of food, without proper recitation of mantras, without distribution of wealth, and without shraddha is tamasika. Very important to know this, friends. Very important. It is as important as knowing what the right attitude is. It is as important to know what the wrong method of performing and wrong attitude is. Why should we know what a wrong attitude is? So that we steer clear from such attitudes, from such kinds of actions. That is why. Those who know the Shastra say, Parichakshate, the ritual described by this verse is born of Tamoguna. The ritual described by this verse is born of Tamoguna. All the words in the verse are adjectival to yajna. A ritual is supposed to be performed according to vidhi, the injunctions of Shastra. That means the vidhi is fulfilled without exceeding or falling short of what is prescribed by it. Exactly as it is enjoined. Exactly as it is enjoined. It is to be performed. It is to be performed exactly as it is enjoined, as it is decreed. Here in this shloka, however, it is the opposite. The performer performs the ritual all right, but does not follow all the rules. He wants to do it, but does not have enough shraddha to do it properly. Whereas the one who was performing the Satvika ritualist, Yashtavyameva iti, I have to do it because it has been enjoined. Period. No questions asked. That is Shraddha at its best. I implicitly follow what the Shastra has ordered me to do. The other words here refer to some of the stipulations for a ritual. When you are performing a ritual, you are supposed to feed the people. The Brahmanas and the priests who come are to be given food. It is part of the ritual. A ritual which does not have this mandatory distribution of food, a ritual that does not have this mandatory distribution of food is asrishta anna. Is asrishta anna. Then again, either he does not recite all the mantras or he recites them improperly by omitting some letters or pronouncing them with incorrect accents. Reciting the Vedas means following the method of properly chanting the Vedas. Swami Paramarthananda often emphasizes that the Vedas are first of all sacred and have to be handled carefully, respectfully. Therefore, he says, if one has not learned the Vedas formally, doesn't matter. One can take the help of Brahmanas who know how to chant the Vedas properly. Or if one is to chant the religious or spiritual texts, please don't choose the Vedas. There are so many other texts like Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha or Prakarana Granthas that can be chanted that don't require swaras. And they are in simple, either metrical form or in prose form. For example, Atma Bodha is primarily a metrical text, beautifully laid out metrical text of 68 verses. Easy to chant, easy to remember, etc., etc. So one needs to respect and value the Vedas before one begins to chant them or recite the mantras found in the Vedas. So this Tamasika ritualist either does not recite all the mantras or he recites them improperly by omitting some letters or pronouncing them with incorrect accents. And a mantra without proper swara is not a mantra. When the mantras of a ritual are chanted like this, the ritual is considered mantrahinam. Mantrahinam. Then, as a part of every yajna, certain dakshina is to be given. Has to be given. There are different types of dakshinas, like money, food, land, or some cattle. Food has already been mentioned in Annadanam. So, like money, land, or some cattle, but wealth in some form has to be distributed. To officiating priests and deserving others. And it has to be distributed in keeping with the times that we are living in. Dakshina has to be proportionate not only with the ritual that is performed, but to be proportionate with the income levels that are enjoyed in today's conditions. Swami Paramarthananda would jokingly say, this guy claimed to be a traditionalist. I believe in Hindu Sanatana Dharma. And I'm following whatever rituals my ancestors followed, my great grandfather followed. Not only am I following what rituals they performed, do them diligently, but I also follow their footsteps in the dakshina that they offered the priests and the officiating brahmanas. My great grandfather offered a dakshina of 5 rupees in those days during his times. I'm following the same diligently by giving 5 rupees in today's environment. That is not expected of you. 5 rupees in those days had a value of its own. You will have to determine what the equivalent value of that 5 rupees is in today's context and give the dakshina appropriately. That is the correct procedure. Here, this ritualist does not offer dakshina or offers it improperly, disproportionately. So there are different types of dakshinas like money, land, or some cattle. But wealth in some form has to be distributed to officiating priests and deserving others. Without it, without it, the ritual is adakshina and is considered incomplete. Incomplete. The central problem with this type of ritual and the reason for all the others is that there is no shraddha. The central problem with this type of ritual and the reason for all the others, meaning improper dakshina, improper distribution of food, improper recitation of mantras, is that there is no shraddha. In the injunctions of the Shastra, it is Shraddha Virahita. Shraddha Virahita. If something is missed in the performance of a ritual, Shraddha will make up for it. Shraddha will make up for it. Shraddha will fill in all the gaps, all the lacunae. But here there is no Shraddha. Or he has the Tamasika Shraddha that we have seen before. He only invokes pretas, spirits, etc., or performs black magic. Thus, Bhagavan has finished what he has to say about the 3 types of rituals. We will continue our study of this beautiful chapter in the upcoming capsules and take it forward. Until then, Hari Om. Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantimapnuyad Shanto Muccheta Bandhebhyah Muktaschanyan Vimochayet Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्